Hey yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoyway. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel. And welcome back to a Money Talk Monday. Before we get this started, I want to change the background so that I can put the layout in the back, and I also have to tell my son, "Hey, it's bedtime. Hug, nighttime, lights off." He'll be in here in a second. But tonight I feel as though I haven't done a Money Talk Mondays in a while, and the last time I did it, you see the background was selling my South Beach condo because I'm getting ready to um sell. I'm in the process of selling my property. Here he comes. X-Man, what's going on? You still remember what it's called when you make money when you sleep? Starts with a P. What does it cost? Stand up. No. What kind of income is it? Passive. Go ahead. All right, go to bedtime, man. Bedtime. Turn it off. Love you, man. All right. So I'm gonna start. Relax, relax, relax. Okay, yeah, but bedtime, man. Go ahead. Yes, we're gonna. I'm trying to send this thing in the background. Give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna shout you guys out in the room in a second too. But for now, I want to make sure I get this background right so we can make sure everything is right. Yes, this should be the background right here. All right, cool. Into my reception. I think today we're gonna talk. What we're gonna talk about today is following the money. And for a lot of people that don't know, I feel as though in my life, as you guys know, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I don't want to say I went from zero because I had a strong family. Income wise, yes, I went from zero to a million. But I feel as though a lot of people that say, "Oh, I did it all myself. I did went from zero to a million," they don't include the power of having family that allow you to be stable. And a lot of people don't include that when they hold on a second. They don't include that when they say they went from zero to wherever they at. But yeah, basically today we're gonna talk about following the money. And when I say following the money, I mean there's a lot of stuff that's happening. It's crazy. There's a lot of stuff that's happening at a time. Some people will say there's a lot of distractions. Like everyone says, oh, this Drake Kendrick thing is a distraction. They'll say the wars overseas, this is a distraction. And maybe it is for some people. Sometimes it's entertainment. But I think at the end of the day, if you follow what the wealthy people in the United States are doing, then you will start to see that there's something going on that we are not, as people who are not privileged enough, whether it's uh power politically or power economically, we're not privileged enough to know exactly what's going on behind the scenes, what's going on behind the scenes. But the best thing about that is that we understand that you don't have to know what's going on to know that something's going on and to know what to do. And at all points, whether it's the Great Depression, whether it's the pandemic, whether it's the housing crash economically in this world, whenever something happens, you follow the money to what the wealthy people are doing because they're going to lead you into better pasture. Um, okay, so I'm almost done with switching this thing up real quick, y'all. Let me just post this over here because I want to switch this background up, and then we can get into talking. All right, y'all. Let me close this out. Let's open StreamYard. I'm gonna shout you guys out as soon as I switch this background. Give me a second. Add background, add files. Right there. Uh-huh. Come on, come on, come on, Camellia. All right, there we go. All right, we back now. We back. All right. So let me go to the chat and see what you guys who's in here. I hope you guys like on the way in. I mean, the whole reason why I do this is because I don't have first of all, let me start with saying I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. And this is just my experience of a person who started from a point economically of zero and went to wherever I was at. Um, I don't have a course that I'm trying to sell you. I don't have a membership. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have a. You can't, even if you're in the room right now, you can't super chat me, and I don't give anybody my cash app. And the reason why is because I want people to know 100% that when I speak like this, it's 100% from the heart. There's no, I don't care about the views because most of these joints don't get monetized. People don't watch the stuff all the time that's not super entertaining, or if you don't blend a little entertainment with it. But I think this is something that needs to be told, because if it's not told, then I'm no better to me than the people who came before me who didn't tell us what they knew. Kind of like, no offense to anybody, kind of like the military folks that traveled but never told us that it was a global world that we're living in now, and it's not just the United States. So let's get into shouting everybody out, and then we'll get into the talk. I got some videos I want to share with you guys. Hopefully you guys will be cool with that. What do I have to say? I have to say fair use. YouTube, fair use. This is fair use. I'm going to play you guys some videos. If you've seen the previous clip, you'll see everything. But yeah, let's go to it. Big Euro stepper in the building. Salute, man. What state you in right now, man? You in Cali? You in Philly? You in you in Pennsylvania? You in Florida? Big Euro stepper be all around the place. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Jay Brass in the building. What's going on? American boy, what's up? Oh, Chicken Burrito. What's going on? What country you in right now, Chicken Burrito? What's going on, yo? Hey, Jason, live from China. I got China somewhere here. Probably in the background. You see it all back there in China. You haven't missed anything yet. We're just starting this. I wanted to give some people some time to come in. Usually the first 5 minutes, I just introduce and do all that stuff in the background. Hold on a second. I meant to go live on this too. All right, cool. Romy Rome, salute. Fly out Chase. What's going on? Salute to the chat. American boy, we need more pregame black man guys. Listen, there's a bunch, man. I don't know. I think I have over 20 black man guys now. I dropped 2 this year. the Zuck. What's going on? Get your bars up, media. What it do? And TCB, what up? Salute. I need to hit you with a consultation. I'm looking for a property in Colombia. Bogota brother, nigga advice. I don't do consultations. I mean, I know everybody's like, yo, there's no way we can give you my. No, I don't do consultations. But if you have specific questions you want to ask me, you can hit me on Instagram. I answer everybody. It does take a while to get there because I do have like 100 comments. Like now it's every 2 days. Before it used to be every day. So lucky to calm down. So now it's every 2 days. I get like 100 comments on my YouTube, but I always answer people within like a week or two, depending on if I'm on trip. But yeah, just hit me on Instagram. And Slade Davis, what's going on? All right, y'all. Fair use doesn't matter if it's monetized, but I think this stuff is some of the stuff you need to go. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the screen with you guys. Share the screen. Window. Okay, share that. You guys see? All right, cool. That's not the one I want to see. All right. Not the screen I want to share, but okay. All right, so this first one is something that as a lot of people who watch my channel are travelers, something that people should know. Let me just play it first and then we'll discuss it, because I think that's more powerful. So let me play it first and then we'll discuss it. Fair use, YouTube, fair use.
Well, it looks like Americans are trying to flee the country in droves. A number of wealthy Americans applying for citizenship or residency in foreign countries has skyrocketed over the past 3 years as billionaires and celebrities look to create a plan B for their families, according to Yahoo News. These so-called golden passports allow foreigners to receive citizenship in exchange for investing in the country. The most expensive programs range from $1.1 million in Malta to $9.5 million in Australia, Forbes says.
The recent uptick in American applicants started during the Trump administration and escalated during pandemic lockdowns.
So basically, there is a way, and of course, none of us mostly usually know this. There is a way where you can pay for a new passport. And what's the use of this new passport? Just in case, for example, for those that don't know, Venezuela used to be one of the most prosperous countries in the world. One of the most prosperous countries in the world. Then the inflation started. Then the monetary printing, something similar to what is happening in the United States right now, occurred. And what happens is that the Venezuelan peso became pretty much worthless. The people who had not prepared for that, they got stuck with all their assets in one thing. They got stuck with only one passport, which became not as strong because of the fact that the currency wasn't strong. So what a lot of wealthy Americans, what I feel as though they're doing, is they're taking this opportunity to make sure, and I don't think that America's ever going, in my lifetime, I definitely don't think so, or in my children's lifetime, I never think America is a possibility that it will turn into Venezuela, because we don't, not only the number one economy, but we are the number one military. However, being diversifying your availability for you and your family to go somewhere else, when you start seeing people do this, when you follow the money and follow these people doing this, and you sit here and you think, well, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. I don't want to look into it. I don't want to know nothing about it. Well, then you put yourself in a situation where you might not like the results. Kind of like all the people who was like very much into the whole, let's say, the GameStop thing back when, and this is something I think that you guys can relate to. The people that was into the GameStop thing and investing all their money into, Bitcoin at the time and everything like that. And everyone kept saying, well, there's a chance that it might go down. It's not a guarantee, but it's a chance, because ultimately the government can decide whether or not something is cut. And nobody said, no, we're going to do everything. And people lost millions. People lost billions. But then some people made money and then got out of it, or diversified at least, so they didn't lose more than they could lose. I think that's the same thing what these wealthy people are preparing themselves for. Not like it will happen, not that it will happen, but that I think if we follow the money, we'll be able to see that we should right now, especially since it's so difficult right now to buy property in the States, we should be looking now into creating different options. Now, you might not ever use your plan B. You may never use your plan B. But at the point that the wealthiest people, who usually have the most, not the most common sense, but the most knowledge about stuff behind the scenes, when you start seeing them do this, hey, let me see if she has anything else to say. Hold up.
Said this reflects a deep-rooted fear about the future of American society.
So interesting. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Bree.
No, I was going to say that it's interesting that people aren't just leaving the country, but actually seeking out citizenship in other countries. Because the former, I think, is more common, perhaps, among people.
So imagine if it's not, that's the only part I want to play about that one. We got a couple more to talk about too. But imagine if it's not just about an economical thing, but what if it's something more Civil War type ish, where people, not saying it will happen, because I still don't think that, I think as United States citizens, we're so far ahead. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but to diversify yourself, to put yourself in a position economically where you can say, okay, if things get bad in America, maybe at least have the knowledge to know, and a passport, of course, a knowledge and a passport to know, even if I don't have two passports because I can't afford it, I have the knowledge to know I can go to Mexico and I can survive because I've created income in the States that I can use in Mexico. I can go to Trinidad. I can go to Colombia. I can go to Brazil. At least have this knowledge of power to know that you can do this, and begin to set yourself up to know, hey, if something goes wrong, where could I go? Before, a lot of other people never knew about travel. Now we have this big internet. We can go out and we can use our economical advantage, because as bad as it is in the United States, y'all, as bad as it is in the United States, we are still the number one economy in the world. Let me tell you what that means. The poorest, quote unquote, poverty, lowest income in the United States is like middle class around the world. It's like middle class around the world. Because the lowest income, bro, I like doing all this time because it's so much easier to do it, so you guys can hear it from Google or Siri or whoever you want to talk with. What is the poverty level in the United States?
HHS.gov.
For a family of 4, the poverty level is 26,000 and some change. I hope you guys can see that. It's 26,000 some change. What is the policy? What is the poverty level in the world?
$2.15 a day, according to.
Again, y'all. I know it's. I talk about the bad things of the economical disadvantages we have, especially as Black people in the United States. But I also know, because I know the globe. I've been traveling since I was 18. I know the globe. I know how powerful we are if we just step outside of the country and do stuff. So this, again, once you see the wealthiest people doing it, you should probably look into it. I don't want to go too far into that. We'll go to the next one. Now, if you're not looking into going internationally, because I feel as though you got to have multiple options. I think that's giving a person one option is never a good thing. You got to have multiple options. If you're not looking at going to internationally, let's see what the wealthy are doing that are not going internationally.
Last month, Jeff Bezos settled on this $90 million mansion on Indian Creek Island in Miami. That is the third 8-figure property purchase the Amazon founder has made in Miami in just the last 12 months. But the billionaire migration to Florida is making even Jeff Bezos' $200 million portfolio of properties look downright modest. According to the New York Post, Citadel Security CEO Ken Griffin has purchased 17 oceanfront estates, some worth as much as hundreds of millions of dollars individually. He is now knocking them all down to make way for one single beach house for his retirement that is estimated to be worth more than $1 billion once complete. None of these billionaires are native Florida men, but it's not the sand and the sun that's bringing them down there. So why the fuck are billionaires scrambling to get into Florida all of a sudden?
So for the people who are not open, which is okay, to traveling and taking your talents outside of the country, ask yourself this. Why are a lot of the most wealthy people, and of course, people are going to say, oh, it's tax purposes. Oh, it's for the money to save money. And that could be part of it too. But if people like Jeff Bezos, the third richest man in the world, who can pay taxes, who can write it off on his businesses, he can spend the money. Maybe he wants more than his businesses. Maybe he wants some personal savings just in case as well. They can find a way to make the money and stay wherever they want to stay. But why in particular are all of them moving to Florida? It doesn't even matter. How about that? It doesn't even matter why they're moving to Florida. Just to know that they're all moving to Florida with these large incomes just should tell you something. It should tell you something about the structure of how things goes. Let me give you an example. Real quick, let me give you an example. I know this is far-fetched. I don't have like a tin hat I could put on to we'll get to your comments in a second. I don't have like a tin hat I could put on to. Do I have a tin hat or something? I don't know. I don't have nothing tin here. Just to try to go with this conspiracy theory stuff. Let's say the multimillionaires, and the billionaires all know something's going down. Something's going down. So they're all moving to Miami or Florida in general. If there was ever some kind of doomsday, or if there was ever some kind of civil war or some kind of mass revolt where people went around and started breaking into stuff and stealing stuff and went all crazy. Real quick in the chat, and I'm gonna look in the chat, we'll go back to the regular questions. Can you guys tell me if this was to happen in the United States for whatever reason, and all of the millionaires lived, and multimillionaires and billionaires were moving to Florida and lived in Florida, what do you think will be the safest state to live in? Real quick, but just for those, just give me. You can say any state y'all want. If all of the billionaires and the multimillionaires are moving to Miami, they're moving to Florida, and then the world breaks out into a civil. I mean, the United States breaks out to a civil war, or the United States breaks out into an apocalypse, or or World War III, where everyone's attacked, where do you think the safest place is going to be? It's going to be Florida. You know why? Because the money is going to be protected at all costs. History has shown us this. Follow the money and you'll be safe. I know everybody's going to say, oh, Iowa, somewhere where they think that no one would think to attack. But I think a little bit different about that. The reason why, like, the places that most people don't go will be the first to be run over is because once you take all of the police and all of the security out of this small place or out of this place where that's not predominantly protected, then it becomes whoever has the most guns. Then it becomes lawlessness. I mean, you guys have had to see all these movies. It's crazy that the movies prepare you for this stuff. All these apocalyptic movies, all these apocalyptic series. You know why? Because they understand that the smallest places that's not protected are going to be going first. People will fight each other and kill. Then it'll be the major big cities fight each other and they go crazy. But I'm thinking the wealthy people all moving to Florida, they got to have some kind of plan that Florida is able to cut all of this stuff off. Just my opinion. I don't know. Got my tin hat on. I got my tin hat on. I don't know. So again, I think that privately they can hire private security, like some TC say right now. There's less gun laws, but you don't have to be the most intellectual person to know this. You don't have to have studied how people react, psychologically when trauma happens and how people go after people. All you got to know is to follow the money, because the money gonna lead you to where to be. It's gonna lead you to where to be. Now, I'm not saying do anything for money. I'm not saying put on, that you should worship money. I'm just saying to understand how something is going to be, follow the money. Speaking of doomsday, I mean, I know it's so far out. I don't know nothing about any kind of immediate threat. I'm not into the government, into the deep analysis. I don't know. I don't do all that stuff. I don't know. I'm just speaking about following the money. It's kind of, I mean, I guess he would because he got enough money, but it's kind of weird when you listen to stuff like this. Just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Let's just check it out. Fair use, YouTube. Fair use. And we'll get into y'all comments and stuff afterwards. I just think that this conversation is needed. Can you guys see this? All right, cool. Let me share this real quick. All right. Fair use.
But that is not what the world's seventh richest man, Mark Zuckerberg, is doing with his money at the moment. And this is sparking a lot of speculation. What does Mark Zuckerberg know that we don't? Now, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, and that's, of course, a company that's owned by Meta, has started to prepare for a doomsday. You heard that right. Mark Zuckerberg is building a doomsday sort of a place where he can, in fact, go into hiding in case there is doomsday that happens. The Facebook founder is creating a compound which features a doomsday bunker. He's creating this compound in Hawaii and not on mainland United States. The compound is located in the Hawaiian island of Kauai, and conservative estimates put the total price of the compound at a cool $100 million. That's not a small pocket change of money. He's investing $100 million for a doomsday bunker. And this doomsday bunker will comprise of underground bunkers, luxurious mansions, and other self-reliant features. The massive $1 million project will also have its own sources of food and energy. The secret project, which the Meta chief is apparently hiding from the public, is called the Kolav Ranch. The project which revealed that ranch is one of the most expensive personal construction projects in modern history. It is still under construction, and it consists of dozens of buildings, which include 2 main mansions, which will be connected via a tunnel, of all things.
Again, y'all, listen. Bear with me, y'all. I got on a tin hat right now. But educated people are not going to waste $100 million on just a hunch. To me, I know $100 million to Mark Zuckerberg would probably be what, like $100 to me, maybe $1,000 to me, maybe even $10,000. Maybe $100 million to him is like $10,000 to me. For him, it might be nothing really difficult. But I've never known wealthy people to spend that much money on a hunch. Just in case. I'm thinking you follow the money and you understand that there's a lot of stuff that could be happening. But a lot of us don't care. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. A lot of us are focused on which rapper won the battle, which NBA team's gonna win the championship, who got drafted in the football league, which country got the best girls, where can you get the cheap price from? And there's nothing wrong with being understanding of that. But you still should have that part that economically tells you to follow the money and understand what's going on. Because if you're not going to put yourself in a good place, then you can't blame the world for where you end up if something does happen. Now, what makes me look at this is, again, if Mark Zuckerberg, highly intelligent guy from what they see, highly good business person, is willing to throw $100 million into some bunker in Hawaii. Oh, if that don't get you thinking at least, then hey, you gotta take whatever comes with you, y'all. You gotta take whatever comes with you. I think even with the housing crisis that's happening now in the States, yo, you guys gotta know something coming. You guys gotta know something coming. Everyone says there's going to be a crash, right? Cool. How's it going to be a crash when the people who have houses, 80% of them have mortgages under 4%? If they left the house, they wouldn't be able to afford rent for the same size property. It's a lot of stuff going on that you guys just. I think that the media, general media, is putting a lot of stuff out there to keep your mind thinking about everything, so you can't really see what's really going on. But I could be wrong. 10 hat's still on. Who knows? All right, so let me go to the next one. Yeah, 2 more, and that's it, right? I got one more, I think. One more. I got one more. All right, cool. Nah, we got one more, right? Which one did I just delete? I don't know. Wrong one. Let's put that one. All right, we got one more. All right, so for those that don't know, Warren Buffett is one of the, and Charlie Munger, rest in peace, is two of the top most consistent people who invested in the market, stock market, invested in companies, and they never sell. Never sell. And these guys are old. Let me just find out how old Warren Buffett is real quick. How old is Warren Buffett?
Warren Buffett is 93 years old.
So Warren Buffett is 93 years old. Warren Buffett started investing.
According to Bankrate, Buffett bought his first stock at age 11 after he said he'd read it.
Okay, so Warren Buffett is 93 years old. He bought his first stock at 11 years old. So he's been in the market for 82 years. About 82 years. Am I right? If I'm wrong, correct me. 90, 93, 10, 80, 1, 2. He doesn't change his pattern for 82 years. But in 2024, he completely goes against what he teaches, how he says he invests for 82 years. Let me let CNBC play the clip. Fair use.
Let's start just given what you mentioned. There was some news that came out in the 10Q this morning. It shows that Berkshire sold another 115 million shares of Apple in this last quarter. That's Berkshire's largest holding. And I think in that vein, we'll start with a question from Sherman Lamb. He is a 27-year-old Berkshire Hathaway Class B shareholder. from Malaysia. And he asks, last year you mentioned Coca-Cola and American Express being Berkshire's two long-duration partial ownership positions, and you spent some time talking about the virtues of both these wonderful businesses in your recent shareholder letter. I noticed that you have excluded Apple from this group of businesses. Have you or your investment manager's views of the economics of Apple's business or its attractiveness as an investment changed since Berkshire first invested in 2016?
No, I would. But we have sold shares, and I would say that at the end of the year, I would think it extremely likely that Apple.
Look how awkward he's moving. You got to know the things. When you start doing stuff like little nervous twitches, I come out. Oh, let me put my tin hat on again. Let me put my tin hat on again. When you start doing stuff like nervous twitches, you done went 82 years with the same strategy. 82 years investing with the same strategy and never sell. You preach that strategy, never sell. And then someone asks you, hey, you sold a significant part of your Apple stock, but you say never sell because you're not into trading. Why is that? And then you get to the fidgeting. You don't got to be the most intellectual person in the world to understand that whatever he says next is not going to be the full truth. It's going to be some type of, here, take this and be happy with what I told you. Because body language, you can't hide. As much as you want to say something, you can't hide reactions. You can't hide movements and stuttering and just stuff that.
One interesting thing is
stuff that you just show uncomfortableness. You just can't hide this. You can't hide this, man. So again, someone who's been invested since 11 years old has had the same strategy, has had the same plan for 82 years. All of a sudden, let's change it up. And there's nothing that we don't know that could be happening behind the scenes. Okay, tin hat on. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But if it don't make you think, and it don't make you strategize, and it doesn't make you follow the money, then you left the blame. You left the blame. All right, let me get to your comments before we get to the next part. Because I've been on the pedestal. But let's get to the comments. Let me get back to your comments real quick. All right. Jay Brad says U.S. sanctions cripple countries like Venezuela and Cuba, etc. They did. But what you might want to see is that during that time, a lot of the wealthy Americans, United States citizens, that had invested in Cuba. I'm not sure too much. I don't know too much about Venezuela, about this, if this fits with Venezuela, but I think it does. But I do know that a lot of the wealthy investors that invested in Cuba, they were able to get their stuff out before the U.S. put their sanctions. And it was just a case. Oh my God, hold on a second. There was just a case. I don't know if I'm gonna find it. Politician spends money on corporation before issuing sanctions. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to tell you guys, you have to look it up later. There recently was a politician who knew that they were going to make sanctions for a certain country, right? Or company or country. I'm not sure if it was a country or company. And before they made the sanctions, he put his money all against another company. And then they made the sanctions, and then, he put it in Facebook. It was a TikTok ban. That's what it was. Hold up. That's what it was. Politician invest money because of TikTok ban. Okay. I was trying to get you. There was a politician who was part of the people who wrote the TikTok ban. And he invested his money in Facebook and Google because he knew if TikTok got banned, the traffic would go to the people. But nobody knew it was even a ban was even coming. This is before they wrote the laws. So he invested the money, and then he made the ban, and he sent it out. And if TikTok gets banned, people got to go to Facebook, so Facebook stock goes up. People got to go to Google, so Google stock goes up. There's always people who know the stuff that we don't know behind the scenes. But if you follow the money, you can't go wrong. I'm only 39 years old, y'all. America is 400 or 500 years old. And this same strategy and the same thing can be looked at into whenever it started. You follow the money, you follow the thing. So let's see. Pitch Stephen, what up? Get your bars up. What's going on? Exactly, Florida. Chicken Burrito say don't move to Florida. We're full. Again, y'all, listen. Follow the money, y'all. That's gonna be the whole. If you don't take anything with you out of this live, follow the money should be the most important thing financially you ever think of. Follow the money. If you don't take anything else out of life, take that. These mofos won't be in Florida. They'll be in a bunker city. Not all of them. Again, it really depends. If they think it's a world war, maybe they have bunkers in Florida. Or maybe they have a plan in Florida. But if they think it's something like maybe a civil war because everyone starts getting fired, the economy goes to crap, goes down down the drain, the stock market get empty, if housing stops being worth it, and then everybody is showing mad and frustration, and all they got to do is take all the millionaires and billionaires, multimillionaires and billionaires, and move them to Florida, and then lock off Florida and let the rest of the part go crazy. There's so many options, man. Not everybody has the amount of money where they can go build a bunker like Mark Zuckerberg. So their second plan might be Florida. It's crazy. Less strict gun laws. There are less strict gun laws. There are less strict taxes, and they could probably hire military people. I mean, let me put my tin hat back on, y'all. Bear with me. I'll put my tin hat back on. If most of the billionaires move to Florida, and there's a civil war, and because the world is drained of poverty, if you haven't looked, I love showing this stuff. I love the fact that I can share this with you guys. Hold up, you guys see this? What percentage of United States income does the top 1% hold in 2024? No, not that. Top net worth. Okay. No, let me see. Not that one. How much did it go up? How much did the net worth of the top 1% go up since the pandemic? Now, I mean, this might not come out the way it's supposed to, but I just want to see. Okay, here we go. CNBC, credible. The wealth of the top 1% just hit a record $44 trillion. So while everyone is dealing with inflation, while the middle class is somewhat being hollowed out, what they call it, the top 1% of the world, of the top 1% of the United States, has hit a new record. What's the odds? Tin hat back on. What's the odds to say if all of the millionaires and billionaires are moving to Florida, the rest of the world economy goes bad and they go crazy? Why wouldn't the top wealthiest who hit a record not be able to pay for a 2, 3, 4 states worth of military to block everybody from coming to Florida who doesn't have money? I mean, I don't think that's too tin. I don't think that's too tin hat. I don't think that's too much to say, hey, it's going to be obvious that since the pandemic, the wealthy of 1% has become wealthier and wealthier, while everybody else has either stayed the same or lowered. So if they're all moving to one place, it's easier to just protect one place than to try to scatter everybody around. Just a thought. 10 hat off. 10 hat off. I'm not saying nothing is the way it is. All I'm saying is follow the money. Follow the money. Yeah. Let's see. He said, you can get out of Florida quick, not to fly over any other states. You don't got to get into international. You don't got to go far. That's another thing. Like, I don't know all that because, again, I've only been a Miami owner for 4 years in October. So, but yes, in Florida, you can get to other countries without having to fly over the United States. You can get to Africa. You can get to Europe. You can get to Colombia. You can get to Brazil. You can get to all these places without having to fly over the states. If the states is going crazy, you can go anywhere. You can go anywhere almost by boat. And most importantly, you can protect. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. X-Man, your mother. David, your mother. So again, y'all, ideally, Florida is, because if all the people in California all the other people would move to California, I would say, okay, maybe it's not just Florida, but that's not what we're hearing, y'all. That's not what we're hearing. I agree as far as investing. I think in the Florida case, it is just huge egos competing. But why would they all compete to go to Florida? I don't know. I know there is tax exemption. I do believe that's part of it. I do think them having a personal tax haven is also part of it. But if that was the case, why are they not moving to Puerto Rico? The tax haven is way better than Florida. If that was the case, why are they not all just going overseas? So I have questions. I said 10 hats still on. I have questions, but hey, I hope Mark don't come. Listen, if Mark Zuckerberg buys a couple mansions the way that Jeff Bezos did in Florida, I think I'll probably stop selling my place. I think I would, because then I'd really be nervous of what's going to happen. If Mark Zuckerberg, which would be and another top billionaire, build some stuff in Florida, I would get a little bit nervous too about selling my place. Al, what's going on? What's up? Is that International? What's up, man? 100 million is nowhere near the largest construction project in modern history. Maybe for personal use, maybe for personal use. He moving on your block, CV. Listen, it's crazy, man. I didn't even know that Jeff Bezos owned that mid 3 or 4. It's a 3 or something like that. I thought he just had that one place. But listen, man. Capricorn Way, what's going on? What's going on, man? Just trying to, this live is not something to say that this is definitely going to happen. This is not something saying that you need to run and be scared or fearmonger or something like that. This is just a live that makes you say, wow, I should research this. I should look into this. This is what this whole live is about. We'll probably only go an hour. We're already 44 minutes in. This live is just about opening up your mind to the possibility of someone or something being set up behind the scenes, because I've never seen. Let's just 10 hat again. Hold on, let me get my 10 hat. Okay, 10 hat on. Let's think of all of the major, quote unquote, distractions that have happened since the start of 2024 that took our mind away from economics and what's happening in the economy. We started off the year with the Cat Williams interview. Cat Williams interview went through the roof. He's been saying this for like his whole career, but that interview went viral. 60 million views on YouTube. But what else happened during that time? Well, they passed some laws. They funded some wars. Cool. The Diddy thing happened. Everybody's going crazy. What happened during that same time? They passed the laws. They funded some more wars. They made it more difficult for people who are lower income to reach middle class. Then the Drake and the Kendrick beef. That goes crazy. This is just so much. Tin Hat's still on. So much stuff that is considered a distraction happened, and what happened during the Drake and Kendrick beef. They gave money to some countries. They started another war. They did some. The Mark Zuckerberg got a bunker. All the millionaires, the top 1% got more wealthier. They moved to Miami. Moved to Florida. Tin Hat's still on, but no one would question and say, "Hey, why are all these stuff happening at once?" I don't ever recall this many distractions happening at once, ever. Everybody going against one guy. Yeah. Again, Tin Hat off. I'm not saying this is a guarantee. This is not fear mongering, y'all. They raised the inflation. They raised the federal rate. Makes inflation. Try to fight inflation. Doesn't work. Still goes back up. Again, y'all. Hey, man. Listen. I'm not. What can I say? How do I say this? Let me put it on here. I'm not privileged enough to know. I'm not wealthy enough to know. I'm not political enough to know what's really going on behind the scenes. But something's going on. And I sense it the same way I sensed in 2020 before I bought my Miami crib. I say, yo, at this time, everyone's going crazy about the pandemic. While everyone goes crazy, let me think. How can I profit from people being emotional? Okay, well, right now the pandemic is something that's people are afraid to be close together. Okay. So if people are afraid to be close together, they probably don't want to live in apartments. Okay. They probably don't want to live in condos. Okay. Well, let me go look and see if I can find a condo. Cool. I found one in Miami on the water. So yeah, let me see if I can get here. I just so happened to find one. Well, I know he's probably the person is probably trying to sell because the person doesn't want to be in the thing. Little did I know the person wasn't even from the United States. They couldn't even get back to their crib. So I negotiated. I say, yo, while the rest of the world is going crazy about the pandemic, I'm gonna follow the money. A lot of wealthy people are buying in Florida. The wealthy people started this purchase during the pandemic, buying stuff during the pandemic, cranes going up everywhere during the pandemic. So I said, let me try to get something myself. I took everything I own, not everything I own. I took all of my 401k. I took all the little bit I could, and I just threw it down there because I followed the money. I said, yo, I don't know if this is gonna work, but it makes sense because during the pandemic, everybody's emotional. I know if I gotta choose a place to buy, it's gonna be better if it's a place with a lot of people, like a condo, because a lot of people were scared to be together because of the COVID. Cool. So let me just take every single thing I can, 401k, take it all out, any kind of thing I can sell that, and let me roll the dice. Boom, follow the money. I followed the money to Florida. I put $45,000 in my place, and now if I sell it, I make 100 before taxes. I make 140, 150,000 in 3 years because I followed the money. Almost pretty much more than 3 times what I put in there because I took the advice I've been following my whole entire life. Follow the money.
I said 5.
All right, bedtime. It's bedtime. Oh yeah, 10 minutes. All right. I took my own advice that I've been following. Follow the money. I put it down there. Turn 45 into 140, 150. If I sell it, 150. If I sell it for a little bit less, 140. But I still tripled the thing because I took my advice. And I feel as though at this time, the same thing is going on, if not worse. If not worse, the same thing is going on. So again, this is not to scare anybody, to fearmonger anything. Just give you my opinion as a person who, oh man, Rome. I don't even think, and nobody wants to talk about money, but I got to talk about money because I understand history, and I understand he who does not understand economics will never be in control of themselves, because the people that do understand economics, or the people that do understand following the money, they'll be the people that determine your future. I'm not even thinking the fact that mortgage is about to go up. I'm thinking 30-year mortgages are about to be done. I think the credit is going to squeeze so tight that to be able to get, because here's the thing, everyone says, oh, 10 head on. Everyone says, oh no, the 30-year mortgages never go away. We've had this is the only way that the product is. This is because they don't know the world. There is no 30-year mortgage in Europe. There is no 30-year mortgage in Colombia. There's no 30-year mortgage in most of these countries where people can invest. Even if the mortgage is 15%, it's no such thing as a 30-year mortgage in the majority of countries around the world. The United States is probably the United States and maybe one other country that's able to have a 30-year mortgage. Matter of fact, hold on a second, because I like it. How many countries have 30-year mortgages?
The United States. According to Taylor and Francis Online, the United States is unique in that it is the only country in the world that has as its primary mortgage offering the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage.
The only country in the world! The United States is the only country in the world with a 30-year mortgage. I thought it was another country. You can't go to any other country and get a 30-year mortgage. And with the way that we spending, the way that government's spending, with inflation going up, with credit tightening, with the banks having issues, dog, I'm not thinking that insurance rate, I'm not worried about the mortgage rate going up. I'm thinking they're getting rid of the 30-year mortgage in my lifetime. Now, 10 head on, they get rid of the 30-year mortgage. Do you know what that does? That takes away the number one way that someone of poverty or middle class can build wealth. Follow the money, y'all. Follow the money. If they take away the 30-year mortgage, because the banks are messing up, the banks can't hold, for example, 80% of people have mortgages under 4%. Inflation is at like 8% right now. So the banks are paying, the banks loaned out more money than the interest rate they're getting in. So again, y'all, 10 hat on. Understand that there's something, and I'm not guaranteeing what it is. There's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know. But we do know what these wealthy people are doing in the United States. Follow the money. Follow the money. Hold up. I need some water over here. Let me see. When you got bread like that, hold up. When you got bread like that, you don't want one government to rule your shit. That's why they're getting multiple passports. Okay. Chicken burrito. Let's hypothetically say that's true. That's always been true. Why now? That's always been true. It's always been true. the people with money understood for the longest. Never put all your faith in one government. But why is it right now that, and I just had it. Hold up. Oh my goodness. I just had it. We just played it, right? Why is it now that we'll play it again just in case you guys just walked in? Hold up. History, right? We'll play it now just in case you walked in. Why is it now? Like if this statement that Chicken Burrito
who don't have $1 million
fair
to burn.
fair use, YouTube, fair use. Probably won't get paid for this video, but fair use. Again, Chicken Burrito. Let me share the screen. Let me share the screen with you, man. Let me share the screen, my boy. Let me share the screen, my boy. Hold on. All right, where we at? We here. Now we go here. All right. So again, let's read what Chicken Burrito said, y'all. And I'm gonna get some more of your comments. When you don't got bread like that, you don't want one government to rule your ish. That's why they're getting multiple passports. Okay. It's always been like that. So why is it that now, at this point...
Well, it looks like Americans are trying to flee the country in droves. A number of wealthy Americans applying for citizenship or residency in foreign countries has skyrocketed over the past 3 years as billionaires and celebrities.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what she said? Let me play it one more time real quick for you.
Rocketed over the past 3 years.
What rocketed?
Residency in foreign countries has skyrocketed over the past 3 years as billionaires and celebrities look to create a plan B for their families.
So if it's always been that way, why would it just skyrocket out of nowhere right now during the pandemic? From the start of the pandemic, why would it just skyrocket? Unless they knew something, unless they know something, we don't know. Follow the money. So again, it's my tin hat on. It's my opinion. Yo, what's going on, Piff? We're on the next trip. Right? We almost at an hour. After the hour, I'll let you guys ask any questions. We'll go for another 15, 20 minutes. I just wanted to get into this conversation. I feel as though I've said pretty much what I wanted to say. I'll get to y'all comments, and then after that, we'll end it. You want to ask any comments about anything, travel, anything like that? I'll answer them now. Just remember to follow the money. If you don't get anything from this conversation, wherever this conversation goes next, just remember to follow the money, y'all. When you're making decisions in the United States or in life, follow the money. What's good, my guy? Where's the next trip to? Oh, I'm going to Barranquilla in 2 weeks, a little bit less than 2 weeks. I'm going to Barranquilla in less than 2 weeks because I'm working on getting my property, my first international property. That's what I'm doing now. I've traveled the world. I've been to 20-something countries, and I've been to a lot of cities in those countries. And for my life, I felt as though Colombia was the place I wanted to own my first property. So that's why I'm going now. I'm putting a lot of work into getting this Barranquilla property. A lot of thought into it. 11, yeah, it's crazy, right? 11 years old investing is crazy. I appreciate it. O to the W. Hey, O to the W, man. When you maybe my algorithm's not putting you in the channel, but O to the W. If you're still here, when you gonna post some content, or if you posted some content, I'm gonna check your channel out. Remember, if you haven't already, check out O to the W channel, man. He had content before. I don't know if he's been still posting content, but my algorithm hasn't been suggesting it. So I gotta check him out after this. OW504. Let me make sure I do that now so I can remember. 1 second, y'all. OW504.
OW504.
I didn't come out. I'll check it later, man. I'll check it later. The big Euro stepper, man. Listen, again, tin hat off, tin hat on. I don't know what this is. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm just saying follow the money because that's going to be, and regardless of what's happening, you might never be privileged enough to know. I may never be privileged enough to know, but I do know if you follow the money, you're going to at least be okay. He 93 Fly Boy. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. Fly putting again, man. Listen, I'm just trying to. I said I keep saying 10 for you hat because I know I don't really get into the drama. I don't get into the fear mongering. That's not what my channel is. I'm just trying to inform people with my thoughts. So appreciate it, man. The body language, yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong, but the body language about the body language thing, listen. Street smart, make cash, book smart, make give it legitimacy. But once you're enough dough legitimacy, yeah. Once you get enough dough, the legitimacy only good, making sure you, yeah, definitely. Taxes, pay taxes. One thing they don't tell you is moving large amounts of money worldwide has become tough. It is. I was able, luckily, with the lawyer that I'm talking to in Colombia, I was able to find a group that most people use, and I was able to, because of my video I put out about buying real estate. A lot of brothers who have real estate in Colombia have hit me up and told me that the companies that the lawyers suggesting are official and that they bought their property through the companies as well. So again, I will feel more, I don't want to say better. I will feel happier. I'm trying to look for the right word. I will feel more secure once I'm able to divest out of my place in Miami and buy something internationally, because then I'll be diversified across different countries, not just across different states. And being at least I'm at states right now. That's what I say. At least I'm divested my money and my real estate through different states right now. I have 2 properties in Jersey and I have 1 property in Miami. So in Miami's in Florida where the billionaires at. So if I'm not able to make it to Colombia before whatever happens, I'll still feel okay because I'm in Florida. But I'd rather be in Colombia where I know the economy is still something I can get around with. Al says, them Senate representatives been outperforming the markets before again, y'all, follow the money, bro. Like, I don't feel like you gotta really need the tin hat to just see what's really happening, yo. But Ray Money, what's going on? What's going on? Salute. Thanks for checking in. Capricorn Way. TikTok's algorithm is better than YouTube. Is why they are banning it, because we have beef with China. I don't think that's the only reason. I think there's a lot of stuff behind it, but who knows, man? Who knows? Follow the money. That's all. Who knows, man? There's a movie out about. Wait, there is a movie out about just about that. I believe, again, I'm not the first person to speak like this. I'm just not. I just feel as though, and I was watching the guy earlier. Shout out to MG, the mortgage guy. I was watching him earlier, and he was showing videos about what he was saying was going to happen in 2020. But one thing I realized that a lot of people don't realize is that you cannot educate people in this environment without being entertaining. It doesn't matter if you are saying exactly what's going to happen in the future. If people are not entertained by your channel, if they're not entertained by what you're saying, if they don't feel a passion when you talk, it's going to be difficult to get the attention of anybody. So a movie might grab the attention more in telling a story than I do, but I still feel as though I need to tell a story. I still feel a movie might definitely grab the attention more, yo. It might definitely grab people's attention more, but kind of like what was that movie, The Wolf on Wall Street? Oh man, listen again. 40. Look, top 1% has reached a new record in 2024. 2024, the top 1% has a new wealth record. What do you think that means for everybody else? What do you think that means? Again, when you start seeing them buy bunkers and all move to one place, follow the money. Politicians, they do, but do they really? Do they really? In trouble like what? They lose some money? They probably made more money. In trouble like what? They go to jail? Very unlikely. Maybe they lose their position in the Senate or in the House. But bro, this cycle has been it's been repeating since the beginning of this time, man. Pelosi be on some bullshit. Bro, did you even with Pelosi and her husband making money off of it? Her husband making money because the wife was, bro, again, above my pay grade. I don't try to get into it. I'm just trying to find a way to tell people that I know, yo, at least keep your eye open for this. I'm not telling you exactly what can do work for you. I'm showing y'all how I'm doing it. My actions are speaking for what I do. Like I said, if I was to sit here and tell you guys I was a millionaire without telling you, yes, I did this first, I did this first, I feel as though that'd be flexing. But I'm not here to flex on anybody. I'm here to help people understand, if you're not going to follow my way, at least create a way for you, because the future ain't what you think it's going to be if you're just sitting around worried about if Drake or Kendrick won the battle, worrying about what Cat Williams had, how he blew up with 60 million views, worrying about whatever that's not going to take your family's legacy further. So I'm not saying you can't be worried about it. I'm saying don't only be worried about it. Make sure you have a plan. I'm just saying don't only be worried about that. Make sure you got a plan. Their bunkers are in Colorado, and Appalachian Plateau, Florida, is at sea level. Will be underwater during the next disaster. Okay, I don't know. Again, bro, we live in a capitalistic place. Capitalistic mean that money controls everything, but there is cronyism. For those that don't know what cronyism is hey, this is a capitalist environment. Money controls everything, but you're my brother, so so I'm going to treat you differently than the people who have to work hard for the money. That's what America is. America is built to be, in my perspective, tin hat on. America is supposed to be a capitalistic environment where he who has the money has the power. But that's not how it works. It's he who has the money will have more power, but then there's a level where now you have to have the money and you have to have the family or the connections. There's a level where you got the money, you have all this power. But then there's a level where you can't just have the money. You got to be a Vanderbilt. You got to be a Foxborough. You got to be a Chase. You got to be a JP Morgan. You got to be somebody with a name that they do. You got to be somebody like that. There's that level. But I'm happy with just being able to get to this level, because this level here of not having a name but having $1 million net, more than $1 million net worth, I could take this to Colombia and be great. I could take this to Brazil and be great. But in other countries, you can't build like this, because in other countries, it's always going to be the same thing that it was. Are you a noble? Are you related to the queen? Do you have a royalty in your family? But in the United States, we're not like that. But you got to be advised of what could possibly happen, y'all. Got a little off the end, but they don't only hold land. Yeah, right. Wait, they don't only hold land in Florida. Right, that's a fact. That is a fact. They own a lot of land, but to see all of them moving to Florida is like, yo, the wealthy already control. Hey, Capricorn, wait, tin hat on. I'm gonna read this comment with my tin hat on. Wealthy already control the politicians, the military, the police, the medical, the government, everything. But if you follow the money, you might not be the captain of the yacht, but you're on the boat. I'd rather be on the boat than not on the boat when whatever is coming. I'd rather be on the boat than not on the boat. I don't have to be in first class. I could be underneath. I could be in a cabin with just a little small cabin in the basement. But I'm preparing myself to be on this boat for whatever they're about to do next by following the money. You're fine. What up, man? Don't sleep on New England. The billionaires hot again. Yes, maybe. I believe so. I believe they're hiding out everywhere. It's a lot of millionaires in this. And I think I was watching something. They said 3,000 something odd millionaires are moving to the United States this year. From whatever countries they're at, China, Russia, they're moving to the United States this year. 3,000 millionaires, just that easily. So to say that there's not millionaires and multimillionaires and billionaires everywhere, I can't say that. But I do say that when the most wealthy ones are circulating in one place and they're making it known that they're circulating in one place, they're giving people hints. Yo, hey, new millionaires. I know y'all want to go buy in New England, but we got the third richest man, the fourth richest man, Oprah Winfrey, Rick Ross, P. Diddy, Future. We got all the people buying property in the last 3 years in Florida, mainly Miami, but in Florida in general. So you can go over there to New England. We still welcome you if you come. But the top ones, when they making it apparent that they moving in, bro, I listen. I follow the money. That too. Big facts. All right, let me see. We're gonna come to the end because we are over an hour. Texas is good too, but you're surrounded by states and Mexico, right? I don't think Texas is as protectable. Like, I'm a real estate person. I learned location. Location is the most important thing in real estate. If, again, hypothetically, 10 hat on, if there's a civil war or an apocalypse where everybody's going against each other, the worst thing that you could be is landlocked. Landlocked, for those that don't know, means that your state is surrounded by all other states and on the border of Mexico. Because if you're landlocked, you can't escape easily without going through somewhere else if something happens. So again, like Chicken Burrito says, Texas is good too with the laws, but it's landlocked. I believe. Yeah, man. I'm not the most educated person in the world. I'm just giving you my thoughts. Zuckerberg bought multiple properties in Hawaii. We just played the video, Jay Brown. You see that, Jay Bass. Again. Motivational moments. What's up, man? What's up? Again, I do a Money Talk Mondays every now and then. Last year, I didn't really do that many of them because this is not a job for me. YouTube is not a job for me. Again, I try to tell people, y'all in the room right now, you can't super chat me. I don't take cash apps. I don't ask for donations. I don't have a membership. I don't have a Patreon. I don't sell courses. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. But so I don't have a set schedule where I got to be here all the time. But when there's something that I feel is important for people that I think that I care for them to know the information, I'll bring it to you on the Money Talk Mondays. But as far as doing it every Monday, it's probably never gonna happen again. So again, appreciate you guys coming to the show and listening to this stuff, because again, it's not the most entertaining stuff that I have on my channel by far. It ain't no. I don't got no women in here. Again, I don't bring women during the week when my son's here, so I don't have women dancing in the background like I could. But it's stuff that needs to be said. We didn't even get into AI, man. We're not even getting into AI, y'all. We're not even getting to AI, man. Omar Suarez in the building. What's going on? Yo, I don't blame you, Omar. I don't blame you. Honestly, in all honesty, if I wasn't able to pay off all of my, again, it is only a small midget of why I would sell my Miami property. If I'm not able to buy another property in all cash in Colombia and at the same time pay off all of my credit card debt, I would never sell my place. I would not sell my place. But at this time, while everyone is still trying to move to Florida, I'm giving them that option to say, hey, I don't really want to sell my place. I got a 3.625 interest rate, and I only owe $104,000 on my Miami condo. I can just live off of this. I'm paying $1,600 a month. I'm getting $20.50, and next year it'll be $21.50 for rent. I can live good, but I feel as though what's happening next, and I don't know if you guys seen it, credit cards are going, because of what Biden tried to do with lowering. If you haven't watched it, let me break it down because I know some people. I talk about stuff that people don't always watch. Let me try to break it down real quick. What Joe Biden tried to do was he tried to limit the amount of late fee that a credit card could charge to go from $35 to $8. What that means is that if I didn't pay my bill, you could only charge me $8 for not paying my bill until whenever I wanted to pay my bill, which would hurt the credit cards. So in retaliation, when that bill failed, what the credit card did, credit cards said they're going to do is they're taking the interest rate from 30% to 35%, and then maybe 39%. And because there's no laws that limit what the level of credit cards can take the interest up to, I wouldn't put it past them if it eventually went up to 40% or even 45%. I don't think they do the 50%, but I think 45% interest is crazy on a credit card. 30% interest is bad. It's really bad. But 40%, 45%? So what I want to do is I want to get out of this credit card debt. And if I can still have my place of retirement in Colombia, it works out for me. If not, I'll just rent my stuff and pay it off slowly. So it's a win-win either way for me. But I fully understand you, Omar Suarez. I would, other than being able to pay off a place and get that, I would never sell my Miami property. Never. I'm on the water. I got a jacuzzi back there. They would have to sell a building before I sell my property other than that. So again, but if I'm able to do this, yeah. Ray Money says the second best passport in the Caribbean. Wait, the best second passport is the Caribbean. Cost about 1.5 BTC. Is that Bitcoin? Currently. In about a year, it will cost about, I don't know what BTC is. Because I think Bitcoin, I don't know. 0.75, and in 5 years, 0.1. You're smart. You will be stacking Satoshis right now. Again, I guess it does mean big Bitcoin. I don't really know Ray Money. Maybe you guys can go on Ray Money page to get more information about that, but I don't really know about the whole Bitcoin transaction stuff. Stagflation 2020. Hey, you're 5. All right, for those that don't know, stagflation is when the price of things goes up, but the income that people make and the raises keep going down. So it's like a contract. You have inflation where prices go up, but or income spiral where prices go up and income goes up. But then you have stagflation where the prices of everything go up and then the pay and everything goes down. And that's the worst thing that you can have because you can't just print your way out of it. Print your way meaning the government can't just give you stimulus because that makes the inflation work. So, but I don't know if it's going to even 2020. It might be 2024, man. It might be 2024. Your little man is following the money. Oh man, I'm that far back. I gotta catch up, y'all. That's a solid flip from 45 to 140 in 3 years. Yeah, definitely is. Again, it's only because I followed the money. So imagine if you do follow the money now, where it could take you. I don't know. Oh, okay. 30-year mortgage means the product is overpriced and you're getting house. I used to be a mortgage. He said 30-year mortgage means the product is overpriced. You're getting housed, getting hosed. Oh, okay. Let me see. Look what's going on in Canada for real estate. Something close to that might happen in major U.S. centers. Again, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I'm not a political person. I'm not the wealthiest person, but something's happening. Oh yeah, something's happening. Yeah, definitely, Jay Bradshaw. Hopefully you expanded on that already, man. Because a lot of people can use that information. Richard Anderson, what's going on, man? HGB, what's going on? HGB. I just came on here to say Flyboy don't know what you're talking about. Again, I never claim that I do. I always give people my perspective and hope for the best. Okay, when I say inflation, I'm not talking about the inflation that HGB. I'm presuming you're intelligent enough to understand that what the inflation that the government is telling you is not the true inflation. They always change the numbers to make the inflation meet the expectations of what you're doing. You might be talking about the core inflation, but the core inflation is not the inflation that the everyday person goes through. It's not the same inflation that the everyday person goes through, because they take out a lot of stuff that varies, but it still affects the everyday person. For example, I believe housing is not included, right? I believe food prices is not included. Gasoline prices is not included. But that's something that hurts the everyday person, because the everyday person has to pay for food. The everyday person has to pay for gas prices. The everyday person has to pay for the inflation that the government doesn't include in the inflation chart to measure inflation, because they want to make sure that they can control the inflation that they say they're putting out. So when you say inflation is 4%, in reality, for the average 9 to 5 person, not the wealthy person, of course, I'm not the average 9 to 5 person anymore, but not for the wealthy person, not for the millionaire, but for the average person, inflation is more like 13%. Like, ask the average person how much of their income has to go to rent. Ask the average person how much of their income has to go to a mortgage. See, now we could play the government games, but if we could play the government games of changing inflation numbers to fit the CPI or whatever they wanted to fit fit their narrative, but in reality, that's not what's affecting the regular person. So I speak as a person who's the regular person before, average person. Yeah, chicken burrito. That's what he meant. 4% or less. That's what he meant. But hopefully I broke that down enough. If you really watch the stuff, you guys can get more detail into it. But hopefully I broke it down to tell you that the 4% is not really the inflation that we see as the average person. The people who shop at the store, the people who pay rent, the people who got to put gas in their tank. That's not the average inflation we see. The 4% is specific things. I wish I could say I can't bring it up. It's specific things that the government measures, but that's not what it really affects us. If it takes you 30 years to pay something off, it means it's too expensive for you to begin with. Okay. Consider cars. People actually financing cars for 6 or 7 years. It's too expensive for you. You can't afford it. I don't want to get too much into that because that takes up a lot of time. About what I mean by could you afford it thing, that takes up a lot of time. And I would have to get into pay as you go. I would have to get into buy now, pay later, and I think all that is I'm trying to keep to a certain minimum of time. Yeah. Big Euro. After COVID, the income gap worsened. It's a fact. We started seeing effects of all that. My opinion, tin hat. Yeah, this is gonna be a tin hat podcast. Hold up. Tin hat on. My opinion. In COVID, they didn't care about the people getting millions of dollars for this PPP loan. They didn't care about people getting the SBA loans at 1% for $80,000, $90,000. You know why? In my head, tin hat on, they needed a reason to blame whatever's happening now on something. And if the pandemic never happened, this inflation would still kick off, but they wouldn't have an opportunity to blame it on anybody but whatever they did before. Not to say that the pandemic it was scheduled or anything like that. No, I don't think so. I don't think the pandemic was something that they caused to do this. I think it's something that they took advantage of to give a reason why now they can blame everything on the pandemic spending. Oh, everybody's pandemic spending is catching up. Oh, all the money that was not that they had messed up before the pandemic, not that this whole thing was going to flip on its head before the pandemic, but now they can blame everything on the pandemic. So, yeah, I mean, there was always this wealth gap was always bound to reach the levels as it is now and go higher. It was always going to, because you can't, in my opinion, tin hat on, you can't change the economic wealth gap without changing the base education that kids are learning. You cannot. It's impossible. It's impossible because you can give people money, and if they're trained to spend it recklessly, they're going to continue to spend it recklessly. And you can't. You can't. It is more difficult to teach a person who's lived their whole life, who's an adult, to be financially responsible than to change the school system that made them that way. But if you change the school system, you change the environment that you play in the United States. And in reality, tin hat on, wealthy people don't want people to be financially educated because then it makes it harder for us, harder for them to get the money. Why would I want to educate the kids to be financially literate? Just think of how the United States is thinking, possibly. Tin hat on. Why would they want to oh man, I don't want to get into the whole JP Morgan and Rockefeller thing because that's above my pay grade. That's above my pay grade. I don't want to get into the JP Morgan and Rockefeller thing, but I will say this. What does it benefit the wealthy people who run the United States if we educate the younger people to learn how money really works? Then we can't force them to work regular jobs. Then we can't force them to be slaves in our environment. We can't force them to be the cogs in our environment that we need them to be so we can keep getting wealthy. So why am I going to teach the wealth? It's logical. Is it right or wrong? It's up to you. But it's logical. If I'm the most wealthiest person and it was a group of me and my wealthy friends in the environment, why would I do anything to risk my status? Now, yeah, I'll let you go. I'll let your Jay-Z self get some money. I'll let you Puff Daddy get some money. Drake, you want to make some money? You can make some money in the United States too. Because that doesn't change the system that continues to make people who can't do nothing but work, go to school, pay these high college things, tin hat on, and never pay it back. And I got you under my finger because you can't go back. You can't declare bankruptcy on that college stuff. You can't declare bankruptcy on this. So why would I want to teach the kids any better? Again, man, tin hat off. It's just logic, man. It's not. I wish that, and that's just as a black person. I know y'all want to hear this, but as a black person, I love the fact that our ancestors worked hard for us to get to where we at, even though we are at a worse economical place than we've ever been as black people. But I wish that our ancestors focused more on economics than emotion and social issues. Because it's the reason now all of us, the majority of us are hooked on social issues and emotion. And it's taking us away from being economically powerful. It just is, man. I can't say the world, man. I can't. But hopefully there's one person here that might not have been thinking this way before that'll open their mind up to something because this ain't gonna change, yo. This ain't gonna change. This ain't gonna never change, yo. I want to be the most optimistic person in the world. It's never gonna change. And I still do it. I still do this. I still do this thing here, bro. I don't have to work again in my life. My son go to Catholic school. I don't have to work again in my life. I don't have to be on YouTube. Doug, I have 100,000 subscribers. Who cares? I have a 1 million view video. I have 25 million views short. I've been on YouTube for 15 years. I don't get paid that much. I use copyrighted music to make the video better. And I do this knowing that this is not going to change the majority ever. This is not going to change the majority ever. Nothing I do is going to change the majority ever. But I do it because at least one person to be able to say, yo, I went back and I heard something that Flyboy said and I applied it and shit worked for me. But again, wealthy people don't care about you. You don't care about you. So anyway, what does citizenship and passports have to do with where you can set up a bank account? I guess you're talking about somebody else. What does citizenship and passports have to do with where you can set up a bank account? I'll try to answer this. I don't know if you're talking to me, but I'll try to answer this. Certain countries, you can't get a bank account without a citizenship. You can't get a citizenship without having traveled to that country, which you need a passport. So therefore, if you want to set up a bank account in another country, you have to first have your passport to go to that country, understand how it is, then get a citizenship, and then open a bank account. I guess he probably wasn't talking to me, but hopefully that sounded cool. Maybe if they finance for 30 years, they pay twice the price on a home minimum. We're just getting used to it. See, the thing is this. The trick is not to worry about how much interest you paid. The trick is not to have paid. As a mom bond. The trick is not to worry about, listen to what I'm saying, y'all. The trick of a mortgage is not to worry about how much interest you paid on purchasing the house. It is to not have paid. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you have a tenant who's paying for your property or tenants who are paying for your property, then you are not coming out of money anything but the down deposit. And if that down deposit is paid back from your tenants within 2 years, then after 2 years, you have what I call an infinite loop of not having not having to pay for a property. So it doesn't matter if the interest is $1 million or $1 billion. If you're not paying that interest, but you still own the asset, it's a W. It's a win. Let me see. Plenty of people with one passports have multiple bank accounts in rich countries. Not everybody. Not everybody. It depends. Because, for example, it depends what you like. Like I like Colombia. I won't be able to get. It's unlikely for me to get a account in Colombia without having an investment, a business, or without having a citizenship. Very unlikely. Maybe some countries you can, but I think I had the same issue in the DR. I think I had the same issue in Jamaica. So I don't know. Again, it's teach zone. Follow the money. Yeah, exactly. If you don't know nothing, follow the money. Follow the money. Even if you do something, follow the money. Flyboy, you haven't done your research to this yellow journalism. What skyrocket means? Wait, Flyboy, have you done? Oh, okay. Flyboy, have you done your research to this yellow journalism? What does skyrocket mean? Skyrocket in mine means take off, like a rocket. It takes off. I'm not giving you the exact definition. It takes off. Skyrocket can mean if something goes from 1 to 10, that's skyrocketing, especially when it normally only goes from 1 to 2. So I think that's it. Particularly the big money, yes. I also showed the wealth, the highest record wealth. I think that's a skyrocket also. Get to the money. You don't see Zuckerberg buying Bezos buying in Colombia. There are multi-millionaires that own in Colombia. They just don't go there often. They own there though. They definitely own there though. But you have to go to one where you like, and two where you can afford. And that's why, even though I see what they're doing, I'm still doing something similar, but I'm doing it in a way that works for me. Remember, I traveled the world. So I've been to all these countries. Where Zuckerberg might go to Europe and say he really likes Europe. Better yet, Zuckerberg went to Hawaii and said, this is the place I want to build my bunker. I went to Hawaii and I said, I don't really want to live here. I like it. It's cool. This is not a place I would invest in. So we have different likes because we're different people. Zuckerberg is a 39-year-old European guy from the States. I'm a 39-year-old black man from Newark, New Jersey. So we're going to have different desires of how we want to see our future. So you don't have to do exactly what they're doing, but you can prepare the way they're preparing. So that's what I think I'm doing. No, I'm not Southern Jersey. No. You don't sell income producing property. Yes, my Miami place gives me income, but it's still not a multifamily property. All my places in Jersey are multifamily properties, and I live for free. So I would never suggest anybody selling anything that's making you a profit, significant profit. China. One of my China packages got stopped, man. Got to order another. I got to order. It got stopped by customs. But I got some more. I got to get some on the way. I'll get some on the way soon. As soon as I buy this condo. What does Black people own? It's a general question, Jonas. I'm Black. I own 3 houses, a couple cars, laptops, computers, all that stuff. But I can't speak for all Black people. I don't know. I know my brother owns a bunch of houses. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't speak for all black people. Flyboy, I hear what you're saying, but you're thinking too micro. You got to think macro. I don't know. Micro and macro is individual. It's individual. Like for example, someone who's trying to rent a house or rent a place in a top-notch area might be thinking macro to them because the school's good, the area is good. But to me, that's micro because you're still renting. And I would say I would rather own a house that I pay less for in an okay area because that to me is a macro, bigger picture. So macro, micro, I feel as though that's individual. It depends on the individual. Let me see. Great point, Flower. Follow the money. Real estate, stock market. Don't swim against the tide. Yo, you ain't got to reinvent the wheel, man. You ain't got to reinvent the wheel. Flyboy, you cut the hair? Nah, I just got it tucked in. It's back here somewhere. I got it tucked in. Chris, what's going on, man? Oprah always welcome. Zuckerberg got to stay out. Oh man, y'all crazy. Okay, see, thanks. Thanks for correcting me. Texas isn't completely landlocked. Let me see Texas. I could have just looked at the whistle. Let me see. Map of Texas. Okay, so San Antonio, Houston, and is that the Gulf of Mexico though? San Antonio, Houston, and Beaumont and Laredo, Texas are on the water. So right, it's a peninsula. No, it's not a peninsula. It's a peninsula, three sides of water. So it's not completely landlocked, but the majority of it is. The majority of Texas is landlocked. Don't that far back, hold up. Which military branch does America have the biggest advantage in? Think Agua. I don't know. 70% of the world is water. What is this? I don't know what kind of question is it. Aaron, what's going on? Kelsey, what's up, man? Salute. What's going on, bro? What's up? What up? Andre, shout out to Andre, the brother Andre, man. What's up, man? We just sit here. We're gonna end this soon, but we just chatting it up. So you guys got any questions? You can ask them here. All right, BitTC is Bitcoin. All right, cool. Where do I get my info from? Data and sources. Because on YouTube I can't just like locate it like this. I get it from stuff like this. CNBC, not this right here. I get it from CNBC, CNN, Bloomberg, Yahoo News sometimes. Again, I drive trucks, so a lot of the day I'm just sitting there listening. I'll listen to like Ray Dalio. I'll listen to like not too much Robert Kiyosaki because I think he's a lot emotional versus like actual statistic based. I listen to a lot of everybody because everybody, and I get my information from those sources. Like I can, on YouTube, we're not able. I don't know if you know how YouTube works. We're not able to just put it up there that easily. But I did play a lot of videos in the beginning of this video. If you go back and see of other people, what other people said, and you might be able to see some of the places. Again, you got to take the emotion out of certain people on certain shows to get to the statistics, and that's just something you learn over time. Don't save, invest everything. I wouldn't give advice like that. Because everybody's risk tolerance level is different. So I wouldn't give advice like this. Flyboy, where do you get this number 13%? Again, I told you, like CNBC. I'll watch like Ray Dalio. I watch like a lot of people who talk behind the scenes. I watch JP Morgan, some of his things. I watch a lot of stuff, and it's more like 13%. I'll watch who else is that? Minority Mindset. I watch that. I watch a lot of different financial advisors, and when I hear the same person saying the same thing over, like and I look at what the Fed includes in the CPI reports. I'm like, oh, well, why you didn't include this? This affects the regular person. Well, why you didn't include this? This affects the regular person too. So if gas goes up, you're not including that in CPI, but we got to drive to work every day. Okay, well, if food prices go up, you don't include that in CPI because once prices go up, they never come down. I don't ever see prices come down, but for you not to include that in CPI, well, then I got to say this is some kind of narrative-driven inflation report because you're not including the stuff that affects us regular people, and that's just how it typically works. Jay Brass, most people buy single-family homes so they aren't renting. If you're single or have a multi-family unit, you can rent rooms or other rooms. Yes, it's a fact. It's a fact, Jay Brass. I can't believe you guys are still here. We over an hour and 40 minutes talking about money, and you guys are still here. It's crazy. We can end this soon. Hopefully, I just want to show you guys I appreciate you guys for joining the live. So I'm gonna get to all y'all messages and then we'll end it. Flyboy always coming with the insight. Salute. Again, I started this whole thing off with saying I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you guys my thoughts based on where I've economically been able to get from one place to another place and how I've been able to get there. A lot of things some people might agree with, but you know, it really depends. Flyboy, if you actually educate yourself and get informed on these topics, it would be value here. I mean, HGB, you might not get any value out of it, but there's a lot of people who are looking like, hey, HGB, if you're that much informed on this information, why haven't you shared this information with other people? If you have a channel, why does no one know about it? If you have the information that you think is different from mine and more correct in your mind state, then why haven't you done anything with it? Because at the point that you're saying that information is wrong, but you're not showing another way, then nobody really cares. Brain Godbeach, what's up, man? Yeah, I was looking at the map. The Galveston Houston side, but it's still not the majority. I'm on the map. I'm looking. It's not the majority, and I gotta really see is that the Gulf of Mexico, yo, or is that the Pacific Ocean? Navy being the highest. Black Falcon. What's going on, man? The Navy of Florida. Earn your leisure. Okay. Sometimes I watch Earn Your Leisure. Sometimes I watch Boyce Watkins. But here's the thing. When you put your trust behind something and it comes to be out where it didn't turn out the way that you put it to turn out, it makes me pull back a lot because a lot of people aren't able to separate the emotions from the economic realities of things. And once you show that you can't separate your emotions from the economic realities of things, which I think, unfortunately, a lot of us Black people are not able to do that because, again, our ancestors, I love them for whatever they did to get us where we at. A lot of our ancestors put in their minds to focus on the social thing rather than the economics of things. It's hard for me to really watch that type of content over and over again because whenever you keep putting emotion behind it versus following economics, like when I tell people stuff based on my life. Again, where I'm at financially, how I got there, I base stuff on that. I tell you what I've heard, but when you start saying, "Oh, we should do this because of this," because socially we need to do this, then I really can't take your economical advice because now it's based on your social thing. Again, I'll say this again. I'm not selling you guys any course. I don't have a course to be sold. You can't super chat me right now. I don't take donations. I don't have a membership. I don't have a Patreon. So this is just me giving you my experience. But a lot of other places, they have all that stuff. So I can't really take it to be 100% true. Because if you got all that, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying now I got a question. Are you doing it for the money? Or are you doing it because you want to inspire people to see another way? So, how long have I been driving trucks? Denise, I've been driving trucks since 21 years old. I've been with the company I work for since 18 years old. I'm 39. At 20, I locked in the major part of the pension. At 25, I lock in the full pension. But I still can't retire. I can't. They don't want you to retire to 55, but I'm definitely going at 50 if not before. So shout out to people with careers. I knew the world was I knew the world was effed when they took a back slice off of cheese and made it over. Listen, man. Listen. Again, big Euro stepper. If the price goes down, that means it's about to go out of business. Yeah. It could Euro stepper. If the price goes down significantly, it could. But prices don't ever really go down when it comes to most stuff that goes up due to inflation. I don't know anything that ever goes down after inflation. That's the end. Cool. Wizard, here, I finally made it live and it's almost over. Yes, you was the last comment that we was gonna get to. I was gonna try to do it to 2 hours since we're so close to 2 hours to see if anybody have any questions. But as soon as we get to 150, if nobody has any questions, we're gonna shut this thing down. Cause brother gotta work in the morning, take my son to school, and all that good stuff. But again, this has been a very important live. I just hope that you guys get out of this. I know, again, it wasn't the most entertaining live. It wasn't, the girls ain't in the background. We ain't traveling nowhere. But this stuff is very important to know, to follow the money. If you don't get nothing out of this podcast or nothing out of this show, follow the money. Follow the money. Again, I want to play some of this other stuff. And I'll look, if you guys got any questions before this ends, I want to play the stuff that I played earlier. Just so that you guys can just so you guys can again, fair use. I probably can't play this again. Who cares? Fair use. I don't care about getting paid for this. I'm probably not gonna pay for this video, but I want you guys to get this information. So let's go. Fair use, YouTube. Fair use.
Last month, Jeff Bezos settled on this $90 million.
I messed up. Let me share the screen. My fault. All right, here we go. Let's go.
Last month, Jeff Bezos settled on this $90 million mansion on Indian Creek Island in Miami. That is the third 8-figure property purchase the Amazon founder has made in Miami in just the last 12 months. But the billionaire migration to Florida is making even Jeff Bezos' $200 million portfolio of properties look downright modest. According to the New York Post, Citadel Security CEO Ken Griffin has purchased 17 oceanfront estates, some worth as much as hundreds of millions of dollars individually. He is now knocking them all down to make way for one single beach house for his retirement that is estimated to be worth more than $1 billion once complete. None of these billionaires are native Florida men, but it's not the sand and the sun that's bringing them down there. So why the fuck are billionaires scrambling to get into Florida all of a sudden?
Again, this is another channel I would suggest watching, y'all. How Money Works. How Money Works is a good channel. It'll give you a lot of details on what's going on. You gotta, it makes it entertaining, but you gotta take some of the emotion out of it from what it is. But it's also a good channel that I watch. Also, they have one called How History Works, which is pretty good as well. Again, we'll play this one again. I don't know the Hill TV. I don't know really what that is, but just the statement of what she said is something that was said around a lot of places. Actually, I played that already, so we're not gonna play it 3 times. Let me see the other one. Hold on. Any other ones? Let me see. Any other ones I wanted to play? Just wanted to see if any other ones I wanted to play. What? Billionaire Bunker. That was it. All right, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to play that one. Let's get to y'all comments real quick. We got 2 minutes left. Let's see what y'all said. Let me see. There we go. Dula Mula, what's up, man? Yo, I'm from Jersey. Should I purchase my first investment property here or look for another investment? I don't know your financial situation. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'll try to give you what I would do if I had a significant amount of money right now to invest and I didn't have properties already in Jersey. I always have been under the firm belief that as long as you have to pay rent, then you can never be financially free because you got to pay for somewhere to live. If you find a property where you can make money off of that property from renting it out and live there at the same time, I think that would be the only way I would invest in Jersey. right now. Aside from that, I can't see how it would economically make sense. Because even if you can find a place for a price that the rent covers the mortgage, well, now you've tied up all your money in a property that isn't cash flowing. So I personally would say, if you can find a place, and it really depends on it also depends on your family. Like, do you have a big family? Do you have a bunch of kids? Do you have to worry about your wife living somewhere, or your girlfriend, or your daughter, your son? Do you have to worry about them living somewhere you live? Or are you a single man who you can rent a place that has a 2-family, that is one on the first floor, one on the second floor, and you live in the basement? And the basement might just be a studio apartment, or just one big room where you have access to the street and no one has access to your place. Because that would be the only way that I can see right now of investing. In Jersey, if I can find somewhere where I can live for free while I rent. Now, even if it doesn't cash flow, but it pays the mortgage enough, cash flow in the sense of, if it doesn't make more than $500 a month, I don't care at this point if I don't have a house. But if it makes $300 a month more than what the mortgage is, and I can live in the basement or live on the 3rd floor, I would do it immediately. And I would do it as soon as I can afford it. Because I don't think that house is going to be affordable, especially if they get rid of the 30-year mortgage. So I don't think they're going to be affordable again for another 10 years, 7 years. They might be affordable again in 7 years. But are you willing to wait 7 years paying rent? It's up to you. How's it going? We're still in the process. We're still in stage 1. Oh no, we're still in stage 1. I call it stage 1. Stage 1 is talking to the lawyer, which we did, and selling my place in Miami. That's stage 1. Stage 2 for me would be taking my money, after I sell my place in Miami, now putting my money in a brokerage where I can get ready to buy and finding the place. That's stage 2. Stage 3 would be making an acquisition, locking in the deal, and transferring the money so I could do that. And stage 4 is closing. I own the place and I'm fixing it up the way I want. So this is going to be a 4-stage process. Right now we're in stage 1. Chris says, Flyboy, you got to lock in with Bitcoin and crypto, the fastest modern way to grow your wealth. I don't knock Bitcoin. I don't knock crypto, but I don't know Bitcoin. I don't care to know crypto. And the reason why is because I know real estate. I know investing in real estate. So I'm sticking. Funny thing is, I'm using the strategy of what Warren Buffett does. Warren Buffett doesn't diversify. He said, I don't diversify in a bunch of different stuff. I invest all my money in one thing I know, or the majority of my money. And one thing I know, have some emergency money and some assets on the side, and I go. So I hear a lot about crypto. I hear a lot about stuff, but I would never invest any real money into it because I know real estate. Well done. Appreciate it, Omar Suarez. Appreciate it. Flyboy, how long did it take you to get fluent in Spanish? I'm still not fluent. I'm on 3 months to Dingo. 5 months I felt comfortable. I'm still not fluent. I have to practice every day. Yo necesito practico todo el día. Porque cuando tú hablas con una otra persona, es diferente. De España, de Colombia, when you talk to different people in different countries, it's different accents. The words are different, but it's still Spanish, but it's just so much difference that I still got to learn every day. I still got to practice every day. So, yeah, I'm still learning. Tev King, what's up, man? Money Talk Mondays has always been around. It's just not going to be every Monday because, again, I told him earlier, this is not a job. This is something I do when I have a thing that I want to get out to everybody. We got 2 minutes left. Let's see. What's going on, Tev King again? Pimp Skywalk, what up, man? Best guy YouTuber for what's up, man? Appreciate that. I might not have the best information on Rio de Janeiro. I would suggest to go to people that like one master teacher who lives there. Go to International because they live there. They're boots on the ground currently. My information for Rio might be dated. It's still consistent, but it might be dated. Go to Sin City. He has some content on Brazil. Go to In the Streets with Keith. They got content on Brazil. So and I think Flip Flop just came from there. So there's a lot of other content creators that if someone was to ask me about Brazil, of course I would say go watch my Black Man's Guide, but I will also point you to these content creators because they have more updated information and more details as of now. I appreciate it, Dula Mula and Pimp Scott. Well, all right, y'all. Again, thanks for coming joining the room, y'all. Hopefully you got something out of this. At the end of the day, if you don't remember anything I said on this live, you don't agree with anything I said, the most important thing is follow the money. Because if you follow what these wealthy United States people are doing, bruh, I ain't the captain of the yacht, but I'm on the boat. And that's all that matters in the future. It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.